kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna to all the devotees who have also joined online, and especially those who made it here. A very warm welcome to all of you to today's discussion on the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chapter 5, the Glories of Lord Nityānanda Balarāma. So last time we discussed only one verse. And why did we discuss only one verse?
9-page purport.
Yeah, there was a 9-page purport by Srila Prabhupada. And we discussed all the points in that. And what was the main discussion, point of discussion there?
How the abode of the Lord is and how residents are living there. How
Yes.
the world is created, but that is eternal.
So there were many points that we discussed. So that was one of the first points.
Festive environment.
Festive environment. What else?
Clear plains.
What is the complexion of the people there?
Black.
Black.
And yellow garments.
What else do you remember?
Aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes, yes.
They have 4 arms and then chakra.
Yes.
And it's Chintamani.
Even there we have lot of vegetable example of rooms and beautiful homes in Vaikuntha planets.
Very nice. And?
No influence of time.
Zero anxiety, no influence of time. Yes. So many different characteristics of the spiritual world that we discussed. And it may be difficult for us to believe all that. And how can the spiritual world be perceived? Okay, so how do we get that spiritual vision? So to the extent that we selflessly love God, to that extent, the true reality or the true nature of not only this world but also of the spiritual world is revealed to us. So what kind of eyes do we need to see the spiritual world in its true form? Yes, prema netre. And the process of bhakti is to do what? So it's to develop that vision, to make our eyes full with the ointment of love. And then we can perceive the spiritual reality. So let us please everyone repeat after me. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Gana.
Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Gana.
Shakti Deha Kare Yena Chaitanya Varnana. Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Gana. Shakti Deha Kare Yena Chaitanya Varnana. So today we will begin with verse number 23. And in the next few verses, Kaviraj Goswami is going to further explain the spiritual reality. So he starts with this verse, he says, Mathura Dwarkaya Nija Rupa Prakashiya. Nana Rupe Vilasaya Chatur Vyuha Hoina. So Lord Krishna manifests his own form in Mathura and Dwarka. He enjoys pastimes in various ways by expanding into the quadruple forms. So this quadruple form of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So there is one set of the original forms in where? In Krishna Loka. And Krishna Loka has how many divisions? Three. And then there is another set, they expand themselves in the Vaikuntha planets. So let's read the next verse. Vasudeva Sankarshana Pradyumna Niruddha. Vasudeva Sankarshana Pradyumna Niruddha. Sarva Chatur Vyuha Amsi Turiya Vishuddha. Sarva Chatur Vyuha Amsi Turiya Vishuddha. So Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha are the primary quadruple forms from which all other quadruple forms are manifested. They all are purely transcendental. Again, this word comes Turiya. Remember we discussed in chapter 2. So Turiya means fourth dimension, that is beyond the three modes of material nature, transcendental. That means they transcend the three modes. And Vishuddha means they're completely pure. So just like the Lord himself, they're completely transcendental and they're completely pure. And only in three places, Dwarka, Mathura and Gokul, does the all-sporting Lord Krishna perform his endless pastimes with his personal associates. So these are the three places where Lord Krishna performs his pastimes. And in Vaikuntha, the Lord manifests his identity as Narayan and performs various pastimes in the Vaikuntha planets. And what's the difference between, one of the differences between Lord Narayan and Krishna's form? Yes. So Krishna's own body, it's explained in the next two verses, text 27 and 28, that Krishna's own form has only two hands. But in the form of Lord Narayan, he has four hands. Lord Narayan holds a conch shell, disc, club and lotus flower, and he is full of great opulence. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Maha Aishwarya Maya. So he is full of great opulence, and he has three energies that serve him, which are the Shri, Bhu and Nila energies that serve his lotus feet. So there's a lot of detailed information here. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains from various sources what these three energies are. So he explains according to how these energies have been explained in different scriptures, and then finally he quotes the Bhagavad Sandarbha, which is the last paragraph in this purport. And he says that Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu states, the Padma Puran refers to the eternally auspicious abode of Godhead, which is full of all opulences, including the energies Shri, Bhu and Nila. Now he will explain what these energies are. So he says, the Maha Samhita, which discusses the transcendental name and form of Godhead, also mentions Durga as the potency of the super soul in relationship with the living entities. The internal potency acts in relation with his personal affairs, and the material potency manifests the three modes. Quoting elsewhere from the revealed scriptures, he states that Shri is the energy of Godhead that maintains the cosmic manifestation. So what is Shri? It is the energy of the Lord that maintains the cosmic manifestation. Bhu is the energy that creates the cosmic manifestation. And Nila, Durga, is the energy that destroys the creation. So all these energies act in relationship with the living entities, and thus they all together called Jiva Maya.
So these three are external energies only.
Yeah, so these are the Lord's energies that manifest in the material world. And what is their purpose? For the creation, maintenance and destruction. Now Kaviraj Goswami says a very, very interesting point in verse number 29. So let's recite this verse. Yadyapi kevala tanra krira matra dharma tatapi jivere kripai kore ek karma. So what is Krishna's role, or what does he do? It's explained that he performs these pastimes, right? Krida karma. So he's performing these amazing pastimes, and that's all he does. But then he does something else. He does one activity to display his causeless mercy for the jivas. And what does he do? It's explained in verse number 30. Salokya samipya sashti sarupya prakara Chari mukti diya kore jivera nishtara. So he delivers the living entities by offering 4 types of liberation. So what are those 4 types of liberation? Salokya, Samipya, Sashti and Sarupya. Now Prabhupada says something very interesting in this purport. He says there are 2 types of liberated souls. Now one type of liberated souls, or the category of one type, are those who are favored by the Lord. So you can play in this room. You just close the door. वो लोग कहाँ खेल रहे हैं? नीचे खेल रहे हैं? ये वाला देखना ये बंद है क्या? Okay, now it's more peaceful. So two types of liberated souls. One who are liberated by their own effort, and the other by the favor of the Lord. So Prabhupada says those who get liberation by their own efforts, they are called impersonalists. And what do? They merge into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, the Brahma Jyoti. But devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service, they are offered 4 kinds of liberation. Salokya means status equal to that of the Lord. Samipya, constant association with the Lord. Sashti, equal opulence to that of the Lord. And Sarupya, features like those of the Lord. Now, where do these devotees usually reside? Yes. And what type of devotees are these that receive this type of liberation?
Who worship the Lord in their Aishwarya form.
Yes, in awe and reverence, and through rules and regulations, Vidhi Bhakti. But those who are on the path of Raganuga Bhakti, they are attracted by the 4 different rasas. So they are blessed by the Lord and they achieve Goloka. And what did you find striking in this statement that Prabhupada made? Those who are liberated by their own effort. What does this mean? Can we be liberated by our own effort? Or can the impersonalists be liberated by their own effort?
By following the rules and regulations, being disciplined.
Basically, they don't have love for God. They have the aspiration to achieve the sadhana, siddhi, and yogis.
So can they do it by their own effort? Can they liberate themselves from this 3 modes of material nature by their own effort? So here when Prabhupada says that they're liberated by their own effort, means that they don't seek the help of the Lord, because they don't recognize His supremacy. But ultimately, they can't be liberated by their own effort. So Krishna says that these 3 gunas, this divine energy of mind, that's His own energy. So to be released from this energy, Krishna would have to He would have to facilitate that. He would have to sanction that. So it's not that by just by their own soul efforts they can achieve liberation. Devi hi esha gunamai mama maya durattaya. Mameva ya prapadyante maya etam tarantite. And those who attain this kind of liberation, they cannot gain entrance into Vaikuntha. Their residence is outside the Vaikuntha planets. And now he's going to explain what is this region outside of the Vaikuntha planets. This is in verse number 32. Vaikuntha bahire eka jyotirmaya mandal. Vaikuntha bahire eka jyotirmaya mandal. Krishnera angera prabha parama ujjvala. So there is an atmosphere of growing effulgence outside the Vaikuntha planets. And what does it consist of? The supremely bright rays that emanate from the body of Lord Krishna. So this is the Jyotirmaya Mandal. And what's its name? This region is called Siddha Loka Namatara Prakritira Para. Chit Swarupa Tanha Nahi Chit Shakti Vikara. So that region is called Siddhalok. Siddhaloka Namatara. And Prakritira Par, it's beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but what does it lacks something. Chit. Now he's going to share some beautiful verses from the Bhagavatam and other scriptures. So in text number 35, this verse is from the Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 1, verse number 30. So as through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode, many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear or affection. Now this is amazing that people in the past have attained this kind of liberation, this impersonal liberation, even through lust, envy and fear. And Prabhupada writes that as the powerful sun by its glowing rays can purify all kinds of impurities, just like when, like say, animals, they pass urine, what happens? The sun, through its strong rays and power, it completely negates the effect of the urine in some time. So the sun has that power to purify all kinds of impurities. And similarly, the all spiritual personality of Godhead can purify all material qualities in a person he attracts. Even if one is attracted by Godhead in a mode of material lust, such attraction is converted into spiritual love of Godhead by His grace. And similarly, if one relates to the Lord in fear and animosity, he becomes purified by the spiritual attraction of the Lord. Although God is great and the living entities are small, they are spiritual individuals, and therefore as soon as there is a reciprocal exchange by the living entity's free will, at once the great spiritual being attracts the small living entity, thus freeing him from all material bondage. So can you think of some examples of personalities who got liberated by animosity? Yes, Shishupal. Kamsa, yes. What did they achieve? What kind of liberation? Yeah, impersonal liberation. They merged into the glaring effulgence of the Lord. And this is further explained in the next verse and in the next purport. Prabhupada explains a beautiful exchange. He says that in the verse, this verse is from the Nectar of Devotion. Where it has been stated that the Lord's enemies and devotees attain the same destination, this refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahman and Lord Krishna. This may be understood by the analogy of the sun and the sunshine, in which Brahman is like the sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. And now he refers to the Vishnu Purana, and there's a conversation between Maitreya Muni and Parashara Muni in regard to Jai and Vijay. So, in regard to Jai and Vijay, how was that? He raises the point that Hiranyakashipu next became Ravan and enjoyed material happiness, then the demigods, but did not attain salvation. So Hiranyakashipu was personally destroyed by whom? Lord Nrsimhadev. Personally. But what type of next birth did he get? He became Ravan. So he didn't get liberated. And why is that he didn't get liberated? Huh? Okay. Now this is an interesting... So Prabhupada explains in the purport that it is not that in every millennium Jai and Vijay are cursed and they take these three forms. So sometimes it's explained here when Shishupal achieved impersonal liberation, it was not that it was Jai and Vijay that received impersonal liberation. In this purport Prabhupada explains. So they were actually demons. And by their activities, by their exchanges with the Lord, they got a better birth. Ravan. So Hiranyakashipu became Ravan. Then when Ravan left his body, when he got destroyed by Lord Ram, then what did he become?
Shishupal.
Then he became Shishupal. And then Shishupal finally achieved impersonal liberation. So, in this it's explained that Hiranyakashipu failed to recognize Lord Nrsimhadev as Lord Vishnu. So what did he think of Lord Nrsimhadev as? Some living being or some entity that had acquired such opulence by various pious activities. Being overcome by the mode of passion, he considered Lord Nrsimhadev as an ordinary living entity, not understanding his spiritual form. Nevertheless, because Hiranyakashipu was killed by the hands of Lord Nrsimhadev, in his next life he became Ravan and had proprietorship of unlimited opulence. So what did he get? He got a lot of power and he got a lot of opulence in his next life. And similarly, Ravan, he had unlimited material enjoyment, but he could not accept Lord Ram as the personality of Godhead. So even Ravan, he did not accept Lord Ram as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though he was killed by Ram, he did not attain Sayujya or oneness with the body of the Lord. Ravan was too much attracted to Ram's wife, Janaki, and because of that attraction, he was unable to see Lord Ram. So this is the nature of lust. So when killed by the hands of Ram, therefore he got the privilege of taking birth as Shishupal, who had such immense opulence that he could think himself as a competitor to Krishna. Although Shishupal was always envious of Krishna, he frequently uttered the name of Krishna and always thought of the beautiful features of Krishna. Thus, by constantly thinking and chanting of Krishna, even unfavorably, he was cleansed of the contamination of his sinful activities. So when he was killed by the Sudarshan Chakra, his constant remembrance of Krishna dissolved the reactions of his vices, and he attained salvation by becoming one with the body of the Lord.
So it means it is Hiranyakashipu was also remembering, Ravan was also remembering Lord Rama.
Yeah, but they didn't accept them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
He accepted.
Who? Yes.
He accepted.
Yeah, he accepted. And he was always scared. He treated him like his enemy.
That was applicable even for Hiranyakashipu also. He also was scared of Lord Vishnu.
But we just read the purport. Prabhupada is saying he didn't accept.
But Shishupal also
उसने भी नहीं किया था, वो भी तो बोलता था गाय
गाय
से आने वाला है।
माखन चोर है।
Yeah, but that, in hatred, he may be saying that. But he had that sense that this is a unique personality.
But even after getting killed by Lord, generally we read in many purports that if somebody gets killed by Lord, or if he comes into the purview of Lord, anybody, the fallen soul would also get liberated, will get mukti. He might not get Vaikuntha.
Yeah, so in this case,
In this case,
this is the Lord's Leela, that he's getting another form, and another form, and another form in which he gets liberated.
so after Shishupal,
Yeah.
he finally got liberated.
He finally got liberated.
And then back in the form of Jay and Vijay.
No. So here, you see here. Now, you look at the...
बॉडी में चले गए तो फिर जय विजय अपने रूप में आए नहीं फिर कभी आगे।
So one second. Now listen to this. This discussion between Maitreya Muni and Parasha Muni centered on whether devotees come down into the material world in every millennium like Jay and Vijay, who were cursed by the Kumaras to that effect. In the course of these instructions to Maitreya about Hiranyakashipu, Ravan and Shishupal, Parashara did not say that these demons were formally Jay and Vijay. Okay. So in this case, in this millennium, these were real demons and they were not Jay and Vijay. Okay. He simply described the transmigration through 3 lives. It is not necessary for the Vaikuntha associates of the Supreme Lord to come to take the roles of his enemies in all millenniums in which he appears. The fall down of Jay and Vijay occurred in a particular millennium. Jay and Vijay do not come down in every millennium to act as demons. Okay.
So Ramayana was not in this millennium. It could have been in some other millennium.
Yes. So
The whole Ram Leela, it need not be in this millennium.
Now, so Ram Leela takes place in many millenniums. Okay.
बट इसमें भी तो हुआ ही है।
So,
इसमें भी तो
This is the context to Jay and Vijay only.
so now what we are talking about is Jay and Vijay. Right now, are they in this millennium or the previous millennium?
Origin.
I cannot say for sure.
हाँ, that we cannot
हाँ.
be very sure.
Unless, like, I don't know, maybe it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam in which millennium they came. There's so many, Lords appearing in so many different millenniums. Now, in which exact millennium this occurred? Or did it occur in this millennium? I don't know, I'll have to read up on that. Now, why do they appear like these kind of demons. So Prabhupada writes that the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has all the tendencies that may be found in the living entity. And so when the Lord wants to have a good fight, He needs a good partner to have a fight with. So the demons who fight with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the material world are sometimes His associates. When there is a scarcity of demons and the Lord wants to fight, He instigates some of His associates of Vaikuntha to come and play as demons. When it is said that Shishupal merged into the body of Krishna, it should be noted that in this case he was not Jay and Vijay, he was actually a demon. Okay.
We also hear that when Lord wanted to desire to have a pastime of fighting, that he needs somebody of his caliber. So Jai Vijay pastime reconciles that. But in this case, when they are not Jai Vijay, how do we understand that they are some ordinary mortals and they still have the caliber of fighting with the Lord?
So here it's written, he instigates some of his associates of Vaikuntha and come and play as demons.
That's Jai Vijay.
Yes.
So, but the other millennium, there it's mentioned that they were not Jai Vijay.
Yes.
I have just a curiosity to understand that how come a non-associate of the Lord has the capacity to give a good fight to the Lord?
By the Lord's will. The Lord can empower the demons as well. In fact, the demons are empowered by whom?
By Lord.
Whatever potency that they have, it's also the Lord's potency.
In this prophet it is written like this, some of them are being provoked by Lord.
The boons were given to Hiranyakashipu and Ravana by the Brahma and the Lord Shiva only.
Yes.
The boons are given to them only.
No, so the boons were given to them for a particular act of tapasya that they did. Right? So in the last, we'll just read the last two paragraphs. It says, Srila Sanatana Goswami has explained that the attainment of salvation by merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord cannot be accepted as the highest success in life, because demons like Kamsa, who were famous for killing brahmanas and cows, attained that salvation. Now this is very important for us. So for devotees, this sort of liberation or salvation is abominable. Devotees are actually in a transcendental position, whereas non-devotees are candidates for hellish conditions of life. There is always a difference between the life of a devotee and the life of a demon, and their realizations are as different as heaven and hell. So demons, they're used to being malicious towards devotees and to killing brahmanas and cows. For them, merging into the Brahman effulgence may be very glorious, but for devotees it is hellish. And why is it hellish?
There is no service.
There is no service to the Lord.
Yes. And where did we discuss this? Where did we discuss this point before? That, in fact, it was mentioned that it is the ultimate type of cheating. I'm just giving you a hint. So what do Gaur Nitai come for? Okay, and what else do?
I think
They dissipate all kinds of darkness. They're like the sun and the moon. Where did we discuss this? Yes, the second verse of the Mangala Charan that describes Sri Gaur Nitai as being the moon and the sun, and they come to dissipate the darkness of the age of Kali. And what is the ultimate darkness that's described?
Yeah, the darkness is enjoying through pious activities.
This liberation.
This type of liberation. It's explained.
Mention that this is the darkness.
No, I didn't mention it, Kaviraj Goswami mentions it. If you go back to Adi Lila chapter 1, chapter 1, verse number 92. Tar muddhe moksha vancha kaitava pradhana
Tar madhye moksha vancha kaitava pradhana.
Jaha hoite Krishna bhakti hoy antardhana.
Jaha haite Krishna bhakti bhaya antardhana.
This is chapter 1, verse number 92. Are you seeing the connection? It's a very, very important verse to understand that. Let's recite this because everyone didn't pull this up on this. Let's recite this verse. Tar muddhe moksha vancha koitava pradhana Jaha hoite Krishna bhakti hoy antardhana. Now what does this type of liberation do?
The permanent disappearance of living service to Krishna.
So this is a very important point to understand, that for a long, long time one will be denied the opportunity to serve the Lord, and there couldn't be anything worse that could happen.
Described as type of atheism.
After that particular period, again they will fall down to material.
Yes, yes. Because why? They will get bored there eventually. Just like if you are put into a room. If someone is going through a lot of pain in their life, a lot of misery, and we say, okay, now we just remove the misery but put you in a room with nothing. Now we're in this room, and what do we see? We just see the four walls. Brightly painted, four walls. That's all we're seeing. Yeah, we don't have the misery, but what do we have? No one to interact with, no one to serve. Just ultimately we'll get bored. And then we'll be. Time in the sense that it's not like time in the material world, but ultimately because they come down.
Do they get bored? Do they realize that time is passing, nothing is happening?
I mean, it's not like how it works in the material world, but it's just explained, just so that we have a sense of how they come back.
So souls stay there, like
Yeah, they stay there,
forever.
not forever, for an inconceivable amount of time. Now, what that time is, it's hard to assess, but we know it's for a very, 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 very long time. Okay.
Depends upon the pious activities what they have done now. Maybe because of that also.
No, this is because they have gained impersonal, they have, so they seek this kind of liberation. The impersonalists, they seek this kind of liberation. But then those who are, say even demons, they get liberated from material entanglement and they go back and then they come back. Now when, how quickly they come back, we don't know.
So Prabhuji, all the souls who get this liberation go there and everyone sits silent. They don't talk to each other also.
There's no exchange.
All souls are there and
So
Prabhuji,
we cannot.
Prabhuji, you muted Prabhuji. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Huh? That's not good.
Probably in one of the lectures.
It's muted from your end.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So in one of the lecture, maybe I remember that it is basis karma, and because it is not a permanent position. Vaikuntha is a permanent position from where you don't come back. But from here you come back, and basis your karma, you will again fall down. Because there you are
Yes.
going to a-
But we don't know when they will come.
yes.
Eventually they will come. But when they will come, we don't know.
Because what we were discussing in our last lecture, that you will tend to have enviousness, you will tend to have ego in right state also. And if you will have that, you will
Which
again
state?
fall down in this state of
No.
Karma Jyoti.
No.
So
You can't get liberated if you're like under the influence of the material energy. You can't. So it's not like, so they have transcended, the material modes of nature, but because they're not engaged in the Lord's service, in their personal service, so eventually they get bored and they have to come down. Because the soul, imagine, if they were in that position, then they would be completely denied the opportunity to have a personal relationship with the Lord. And how can a soul be permanently denied? If then that state of this, impersonal bliss, or they will never have the opportunity to serve the Lord if they're permanently in that situation. So eventually they do come down. Yes. So it's a type of liberation, but it's a it's a liberation for a very extended time period, which is beyond our calculation. But ultimately they will come down. And then just one more point I want to make. So Prabhupada also makes a very, very important point. This is, again, very relevant for us. He says, from this incident, one can understand that even a person who thinks of Krishna as an enemy and is killed by him may be liberated by becoming one with the body of Krishna. What then must be the destination of devotees who always think favorably of Krishna as their master or friend? This is actually in the middle, middle of that long paragraph. So I kept the best for last. So what then must be the destination of the devotees who always think favorably of Krishna as their master or friend? Devotees cannot be situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence into which impersonalists desire to merge. The devotees are placed in Vaikuntha Lok or Krishna Lok. We'll discuss another 2 or 3 verses. Okay. Verse number 37. So thus in the spiritual sky there are varieties of pastimes within the spiritual energy. Outside the Vaikuntha planet appears the impersonal reflection of light. and this consists of the effulgent rays of the Lord. Those fit for Sayujya liberation merge into that effulgence. And beyond the region of ignorance lies the realm of Siddhalok. The Siddhas reside there absorbed in the bliss of Brahman. Demons killed by the Lord also attain that realm. And Prabhupada writes in the purport to text number 39, he says, Tamas means darkness. The material world is dark, and beyond the material world is light. After passing through the entire material atmosphere, one can come to the luminous spiritual sky whose impersonal effulgence is known as Siddhalok. Mayavadi philosophers who aspire to merge in the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as demoniac persons who are killed by Krishna, such as Kamsa and Shishupal, enter that Brahman effulgence. And there are some yogis also through meditation, they also attain Siddhalok. Okay? And in that spiritual sky, on the four sides of Narayan, are the second expansions of the quadruple expansions of Dwarka. So we will discuss this in our next discussion, because this verse number 40 and 41 are kind of connected, and verse number 41 has 15-page purport. Okay. So we'll discuss that next time. And many, many interesting points. It's a very, very philosophical purport, because in which Prabhupada, he's going to argue against the explanation given by Shankaracharya, right, about the Chaturvyuha. So, the Chaturvyuha has been explained by Shankaracharya in a very different way than what we are going to hear in this chapter. And Prabhupada, one by one, point by point, he's going to address the arguments put forward by Shankaracharya in his commentary. So we will do that next time. In fact, I will send you some points before so you can actually go over. So when you come to the session, you are at least prepared to some extent, because it's a very, very philosophical discussion.
So Prabhuji, Mayavadi thinks that after that Brahma effulgence, there is nothing. That is the end.
Yes, that is the end. For them, that is supreme. No, they are aware.
No, for
But
them,
yes, they don't accept the Lord's form as ultimate. They think that form means there is influence of the three modes.
please repeat.
So form implies that there is an influence of the three modes. These bodily forms, or these forms, are there according to them because there's the influence of the three modes. And when we are liberated from these forms. That is ultimate, you could say, liberation or ultimate success for them.
Okay, so to these scriptures and to the abode of Lord Krishna, they just deny that.
Yeah, for them, that is not the ultimate destination.
So I have a question regarding Siddhalok. So this time we are reading that Siddhalok is the Brahma. But last time in the purport of 22nd, we read,
Yes.
of course man is endowed with free will, and as such he does not want to free himself from the material world. He may enjoy the life of Brahmapad, occupation of post of Brahma, and visit Siddhalok, the planets of materially perfect beings, who have full capacities to control gravity, space and time. To visit these higher planets in the material universe, one need not give up his mind and intelligence. finer matters, but need only give up grosser matters. तो यहाँ पर कैसे define होगा? यहाँ तो कुछ और ही का मतलब
ये दोनों एक ही है ना, जो अभी आपने बोला सिद्ध लोग ब्रह्म लोग, और ये जो आप बोल रहे हो, ये दोनों एक ही जगह की बात हो रही है ना, बट डिस्क्रिप्शन है.
So this one, which part of the purport is it? Because it's a long purport, right? Which page? Yeah, you just show me that.
Of course.
Okay, so we can check this. That I mean, there can be like that. That may also be called Siddhalok, and this may be also called Siddhalok. We can check that. Here, definitely, there the description is something different, right? I'm not sure. I'll just check and I'll get back to you on this. Okay.
Because here also it is written Siddhalok, Brahmalok, and today also we read it.
No, it doesn't say. No, it doesn't say the Brahmalok.
Like the place of Brahmaji. इधर ऐसा mention करा है. But वो तो Brahman effulgence है.
Just one sec. So I'll look this up.
When we hear about the Bhagavatam chart also, in that
Yes.
also it is mentioned that 14 planetary systems. The top one is Brahmaloka. It is part of material world.
Yeah, that is. We're not talking about Brahmaloka. We're talking about this Brahman.
But here the Siddhaloka, Brahmaloka, the same word is being used.
So, okay, hold on. Don't get confused about this. Just park it. Okay.
Brahmalok is the last part of material world, right?
Yes, but this is beyond.
We have the Brahmajyoti, no?
But no, after that, we have to transcend the material world. So this is being referred to something else. So don't worry, we'll get to that. Okay. Because sometimes the words may be used interchangeably. They may have the same headings, but we'll look it up. Don't worry. Don't get confused by that.
Before this discussion, I had an understanding that Siddhaloka is the topmost planet in this material world, and that is the planet of Brahmaji.
So here it is called Siddhalok as well. Just like we heard that Golok is also called Shwetadweep. Now Shwetadweep is also another name. Right? So just because it's called the same doesn't mean they are the same. Okay. So they may refer to another place somewhere else. Okay.
Something different.
Yes, that's different. It's different. Okay.
I have another question.
Yes.
Shri Bhuvan Nida, the energy that serves the lotus feet of Krishna.
Lord Narayan.
Their job is to maintain, create and destroy. So is it referring to Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh as their responsibility?
Now,
mention is Shakti, and in general term we refer them as Brahma and Vishnu.
yeah, so that they are empowered with that Shakti, right? The Shakti of creation, the Shakti of destruction, and the Shakti of maintenance.
So it is the Shakti we were talking about, and then
Yes.
this is them as Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh.
That will manifest, that Shakti will manifest, like they are called, what avatars are they called? Guna avatars. So they're imbibed with that Shakti. Okay. Prabhu, you had something that you
I
wanted.
think you mentioned about the focus, endeavor, and pray for mercy part. Like
Yes.
We had that idea that we need to pray for mercy, and it's up to Krishna that we can achieve results. So I just wanted to share that the 3 points: focus, endeavor, and pray for mercy.
Okay. And this is for our spiritual endeavors? Yes.
Yes, good point.
So are you all confused? Not really? Good. Once we get through this chapter, then it'll get much simpler. This is the toughest chapter to go through.
As the name is only the glories of Lord Nityānanda Balarāma, तो उसके तो कुछ ही बहुत कम verses थे, बाकी तो it's just
नहीं अभी आएंगे, अभी कहाँ खत्म हुआ है, अभी तो we have 200 something odd verses. So this is basically to help us get a sense of the power and the position of Lord Nityānanda Balarāma.
Started from Shesh and now.
No, it's not started, it's going to end in Shesh. Right? It's starting from whom? It's starting from Sankarshan. Okay. It's starting with these quadruple forms. Okay. And then it will go to the Purusha avatar, then it will go to the Shesh. So,
So this Shesh is same as Anant Shesh?
yes.
And
So wait on that. Don't get into that.
No, I'm asking that I've always heard about Sankarshan, but here the first form is Mahasankarshan.
Yeah, so that's his next form. He expands himself into Mahasankarshan. So the second quadruple form, that is Mahasankarshan. So Sankarshan becomes Mahasankarshan in his second quadruple form. So one set in Sankarshan in Krishna Lok, and then in Vaikuntha Lok, he has Mahasankarshan. Okay.
I've always read only Sankarshan, not Sankarshan.
So he is also known as Mahasankarshan. Sometimes you'll see they use interchangeably. Okay.
So these 5 forms which we have read, it's in the Vaikuntha planet?
Which one?
Mahasankarshan,
Mahasankarshan,
Purushavatar
Karuna,
and
Daksha,
Shesh.
no.
No, where's Karana Daksha Vishnu is not in the spiritual. I mean,
No, that's
don't get. We will get there. Just now we're just talking about the quadruple form, okay? And we're talking about the spiritual planets. I mean, spiritual regions. We spoke about the Paravyoma, which is Vaikuntha and Krishna Lok. Now we came to Siddha Lok today, right? That is beneath the Vaikuntha planets. There's Siddha Lok, right? Brahma Lok. So where there is only the glaring effulgence of the Lord. So that's all we have discussed, so stick to that discussion.
And we are reading here only Krishna Lok, and as we always say, we want to go to Golok, so it's same.
So Golok is one part of Krishna Lok. What is the other two parts?
Dwarka and
Mathura.
so we should say now Krishna Lok, not Golok. As we always say, we want to go to Golok now.
Yeah, so Krishna Lok is comprised of Golok. Yes. So where do you want to go? You want to be in Mathura?
Okay. So it's a specific, Golok is the specific place we are talking about.
Yeah, where he is having all his childhood pastimes, and in Mathura he is, again he's a king.
So all three comprise
In Dwarka,
Dwarka is
again, so then
Krishna never comes out of Vrindavan.
yes and no, yes,
In the lecture you sent, I was again
yes.
hearing that yesterday night.
Okay, so we'll end here today. Any of the devotees online, they have any questions? Harsh Prabhu, we are missing you here. It's been a long time. You all have to recover from your bug bites. Huh? Shanky Prabhu, for you also long time no see. Huh? Where have you been?
Proji, little household engagement is there, and office engagement is getting little
Okay.
busy. That's why I'm trying to manage.
Where were you, Nitin?
Yes, you please put on your video. We want to see you and get your blessings. Mataji.
You said it.
आप अपना वीडियो ऑन करो माता जी.